We have a challenge for you.
We challenge you to ask questions. It's really important.
We challenge you to engage the material in front of you.
And we challenge you to think about and discover what process really works for you.
Most of all, we challenge you to have fun with it.
Traditional teaching and learning strategies are becoming increasingly ineffective with a generation of secondary students who have instant access to information through new technologies, embrace the roles of content producer and publisher, and have access to extensive social networks. The task of engaging more students to achieve has become increasingly important. To that end, Apple has been working with educators across the country to develop the concept of challenge-based learning.
I think challenge-based learning overall will be an exciting adventure, one that we don't exactly know what the end result's going to be. And so it's the whole letting go, I think, is going to be crucial for us as teachers to let go a little bit, learn right alongside our kids, not be in charge of what we think is going to happen in the end, and see where it all takes us. So a large adventure for the kids and for us as teachers as well.
It's really exciting to see where we need to take 21st century learning to get kids ready for the future. A challenge like this brings about different ways of thinking and different ways of teaching and learning, and I think that's exciting for our kids.
Challenge-based learning is an engaging, multidisciplinary approach to teaching and learning that encourages students to leverage the technology they use in their daily lives to solve real-world problems collaboratively. The process starts with a big idea. Then the students explore questions essential to understanding the idea. That leads them to formulating a challenge that inspires action. By that point, the teacher and the students have become collaborators in learning. To test the idea, 29 teachers were brought together from 6 different schools across the country to implement challenge-based learning at their schools. All in all, more than 300 students participated.
This project is going to be an interesting concept for us. We're still trying to get out of that traditional classroom, and I think this is going to be one way that's going to break that and really let the kids go at it and see what they can find and learn. So I'm excited to see what they produce, because when I think that they can't do something and I just let them go at it, they surprise me every single time.
I think the project's going to be fantastic. I mean, if student engagement is the problem, then getting them projects where they get to be active in class is definitely the key to the solution.
The New Media Consortium was brought in to study the pilot from every angle. Based on their analysis, the project was an absolute success. Their in-depth study revealed that teachers and students overwhelmingly found challenge-based learning effective and engaging. 100% of teachers reported that student work exceeded their expectations. 97% of teachers felt students learned more than expected, and in some cases, much more. 80% of students reported they felt they and their project had made a difference in their school and their community. Virtually all the students reported that they learned important new skills. Remarkably, the skills they listed aligned almost perfectly with the key 21st century skills identified by more than 40 leading companies and learning organizations as critical to success.
For me, it's seeing the confidence of students. I've never seen this before. You know, these kids, they walked in thinking that, you know, school doesn't matter, learning doesn't matter. For some of them, it's something that they're not good at, they can't wait till it's over. But to see them like get excited and to ask, hey, can we do this again? I was really good at this. You're always confident when you feel like you've mastered something, and to give that to someone at this age is nice, because then it thinks, well, if I could do this, what else could I do?
The pilot study of challenge-based learning established unequivocally that it works. We have a new and powerful way to engage kids when they are most at risk. Now the task is to help schools and communities around the globe learn how to apply the process in their own schools.
I think that it's going to open up the doors to really allow that creativity and that open-mindedness to flow with the students. Versus, a lot of times I think they're given a little bit more direction at the beginning of the project, but there'll just be a little bit more freedom in terms of their outcome.
If somebody has a connection to their learning, gets engaged, realizes that there's a bigger purpose to all of this, comes to school wanting to learn, learns outside of school, I think those are the kinds of things that's going to make all of it worthwhile. And even if we see it in a small amount, I think it's something that can continually grow in the future.
Want to learn more? Visit the website at challengebasedlearning.org.
In challenge-based learning, big ideas are broad concepts. Big things, you know. Broad concepts, main themes. They are things that can be explored from multiple angles. They are engaging concepts and have importance to us, the learners, and I believe the larger society as well. Examples of big ideas are identity, sustainability, creativity, violence, peace, power. My big idea is about learning. What's yours? What is an essential question? For me, it's the next step after thinking about a big idea. It's about moving information or ideas from the very general to the personal or specific. Let's say food. Now, let's develop questions from that. We have to go beyond the who, what, where kind of questions. It's about personalizing. For example, an essential question would be, am I eating healthy? What does food really mean to me? Sometimes essential questions bring up the controversy. For example, let's take the big idea of guns. Is gun control necessary? Does it work? How does it affect my community? It may be frustrating because essential questions sometimes generate gray area answers. But it's not about being right or wrong. So here's one for you. What does water mean to you? What does it mean if you're thirsty, dirty, or on fire? A challenge is a call to take action. We come up with challenges by asking essential questions. The questions have to compel us to find solutions that result in meaningful actions. For example, how can I get more young people like me to vote? One solution can be to have a mixer at a coffee shop. Talk about what's going on with the candidates. Arrange carpooling the day of elections. There are multiple paths of actions, and the results of these actions are measurable. These challenges require research and the refining of research in order to come up with appropriate solutions. Get together with friends. What's your challenge? Now that Miguel and his group have a clear idea of their challenge to increase voting participation of young voters, Miguel's group now requires an inventory of questions to help clarify where they are and where they need to be, and who can help them get there. He refers to this part of the process as the knows and the need to knows. What are guiding questions needed to address the challenge? For Miguel's challenge, he's going to ask himself questions like, who are the young voters in my community? How many are there? Where do I find this information? What are they into? What are the main issues in their lives? What prevents young voters from voting in my community? These guiding questions require guiding activities, like finding appropriate resources, researching government websites, and video interviewing members of our target audience group. Creating a website that collects information about the candidates that are running. Maybe create a questionnaire that, once completed, recommends a candidate for the young voter based on the results. These guiding questions should provide Miguel and his group with the map to a solution that can be successfully implemented. These questions help by creating directly related guiding activities and resources to help come up with a solution and help the team find individual tasks. There are many resources available to help guide Miguel and his team to a solution. So for their challenge, they're going to come up with activities that are directly connected to their guiding questions. Once the groups have completed the activities and utilized the resources, they should have had all of their questions answered. They may have also raised some new questions that they needed to answer, and have the base to identify a viable solution. This is Miguel's group roadmap. What's your roadmap? What's your plan? Once Miguel's group has agreed on a solution, depending on time, this could include a pilot project, like building a website with videos on how and when to vote, and also the benefits of voting. The final solution for Miguel's group should be implemented. It should be an action, in a way that impacts his community. It needs to be real, not fake, so the students can measure how effective their solution was. Unlike traditional school projects, where the teacher is the sole giver of feedback, here, everyone can provide it because the goals, questions, and activities are clear before, during, and after. What is your real-world solution?
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.